Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is April the 9th, 2019. What do we got here? Strong hand. Offended by selling. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Unconfiscatable. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Deferral of gratification. Oh, we're going to talk a lot about that today. Don't FOMO on altcoins. All right, this Friday, This Week in Bitcoin will be on at 5:30 p.m. New York time. BTC Benny, Bitcoin Tina, Juan Galt. Mark your calendar. We already know it. 10 p.m. on Saturday, Beyond Bitcoin will be the Bitcoin Rabbi. Okay. We have a FUD court segment later in the show. Oh, I know. You're looking forward to hear what the FUD court segment is today. What are they serving in the FUD court? Can anyone guess in the chat what they're serving in the FUD court today? Okay. Let me share this tweet. It's from Baker. I don't know who it's from. And he gets the basic point with this. I don't agree with it 100%. It's not a war, though. Bitcoin, and this is Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin type of thing. Bad news, Bitcoiners. The next fork won't be some clown like King of the Trolls or Rocket Man Woo. It's us versus billions of normies propagandized by the state and media to endorse inflation, blacklist, and Lord knows what else in Bitcoin. Hold! So we can win that battle swift and resolutely. Okay, it's not going to be much of a battle. I wouldn't even put it into war terms. I don't like saying that. But yeah, the guy brings up a good point. In the future, there will be a group of people that, like a populist movement in the Bitcoin space from normies and 80%ers who are envious of longtime holders, of people who got in early, of people who have a lot of Bitcoin, and they'll say it's not fair. They're only going to be 21 million, and again, this is what happens in politics too. These populist movements, which are just basically wild mobs, or are inspired with emotional sayings to do ludicrous things and vote for ludicrous people. So expect something like that to happen in the space eventually. Large groups of people who don't understand deferral gratification, who don't understand limited supply, they're gonna say, no, we want to make the real Bitcoin. We're gonna fork off. We're gonna make 80% be 80%er or be populist or whatever they want to call it. Be normie. The be normie crypto dividend. And you know what I say? Go ahead, make my day. Go ahead and do that. It will fail. The people behind it's for irrational emotional reasons they're going to be doing it. So in the world of pure numbers, in emotionless pure numbers, yeah, the real Bitcoin will destroy that. But the normie Bitcoin that will fork off, it will pump for a while. There'll be all sorts of people like praising it. But yeah, it will be an unfriendly fork. And it won't just be from King of the Trolls and Rocket Man Woo. It'll be a populist movement, a wild, emotional populist movement. The person who will start it probably isn't even in Bitcoin or crypto yet. It'll be somebody that joins after, when there's a lot of envy of Bitcoin, when the envy is in the mainstream. Right now, there's some no coiners that are envious of Bitcoin. They're not. It's just a small group of people. We're familiar with most of the vocal envious people. But in the future, there will be many. There will be, and they will say, well, we're going to make our own Bitcoin. So this tweet says it's bad news for Bitcoiners. The next fork won't be some clown. No, I think it's great news because I'm totally confident. Yeah, Bitcoin can take on a challenge like that easily. And again, you can't be freaked out by it when it comes. You just have to treat it as another crypto dividend that you turn into Bitcoin, because there's a bunch of angry, envious people that want to make an inflation normie coin. Great. That's awesome. Let them do what they're going to do. The real Bitcoin will be the real Bitcoin. And yeah, holding the real Bitcoin and not panicking, having a strong hand, that's a good way to speed up the failure of the future B normie. Pound that like button. All right, Guy Bennett sent $2 in the super chat. He says they all pump until they die. Well, yeah, thank you, Guy Bennett. But some of these ones never really die. I mean, Bcash, it's never going to die, probably. But I think something like that, a B normie or a B 80%er, yeah, that one probably would die. All right. Yeah. And again, the populist movement will be saying, oh, those elite Bitcoin holders that have been holding since 2017 or 2019, we need to make more Bitcoin. And I mean, you can see in America, that's how what America has degraded into a bunch of envious people screaming about, well, you're privileged. You're privileged. That's why you're successful. I mean, they can't take personal responsibility. That's why personal responsibility is a new counterculture. So few people want to take it. It's all about envy. That's envy and virtue signaling. That's what mainstream culture is about. I'm so glad I'm in the Bitcoin overlay where we take personal responsibility. But again, you have to plan ahead and you have to look ahead to see how these envious the envious mobs are going to try to, take advantage of Bitcoin or try to scare Bitcoin, try to make their own Bitcoin and plan ahead and just have a strong hand. All right. So let's talk about yesterday. I mentioned a tweet that said Bitcoin is the ultimate protest. You don't have to go virtue signaling into the street. That's not real protest. You just quietly buy your Bitcoin. And that's a protest against mainstream culture. I think I just explained above, what mainstream culture is all about. And joining the counterculture in Bitcoin, taking personal responsibility, that's definitely a way of protest. But someone responded, Aileen418 tweeted this out, and I retweeted it. And again, you can follow me on TechBalt, TechBalt, to see this. Most protesting, unfortunately, doesn't lead to change. Bitcoin, however, will change everything. Totally agree. Again, you see all these people protesting Trump, just to show off to their girlfriends or whatever, and that doesn't change a darn thing. It's just a waste of their time, and they're not getting any because of it either. Pound that like button. But buying Bitcoin, that will change things for you especially, and that's what you got to be looking out for you, man. You don't have to be trying to show off the people to gain status that'll. To gain a social status that will gain you no wealth and just waste you your time. Oh God. What a mainstream society we live in. Waste all your time gaining status and becoming poorer. Wow. Bitcoin overlay. Jump into it, baby. Jump into the fire. This is where the big boys play. And mainstream society is where the virtue signalers cry and are envious. Moving on, let's go back to what I talked about yesterday. I love this 210,000 block theory. You guys got to value your time in halvings. And that is what the 210,000 block theory is all about. And watch yesterday's show if you need a better explanation. I think it might be one of my biggest discoveries ever. Thank you so much, Guy Bennett, for telling me about it. The dude who came up with it wants me to be on the show, and maybe he'll come on the show. I linked to it again. But what it all boils down to is, since 2013, since I've owned my first 2 Bitcoin in 2013, I've heard so many ridiculous financial strategies that don't involve Bitcoin. Oh, you got to buy stocks, you got to buy Peter Schiff, you got to buy gold, you got to buy houses, you got to buy this, that, and the other. And all along, all this time, it could have just been as simple as just buy Bitcoin and hold on to it for at least 210,000 blocks, which is roughly 4 years. Because so far, every single person who's ever bought Bitcoin, 210,000 blocks later, for all you fiat freaks, it's worth more in terms of fiat. And this is a fact. And it's just amazing how simple it is, how it's not glamorous. It's not glamorous. It's just holding. It's what I've been preaching this entire time. Yeah, thank you very much for this shirt. My buddy down in Perth, Nathan, gave me this a while ago. Just want to give him a shout out again. Pound that like button, as the shirt says. But it's simple as 4 years of patience. I mean, if you bought before Any person who bought Bitcoin before this time in 2015, you're doing great. And under this theory, if this theory remains true, storage is so key. Controlling your own private key is so key. So you don't lose your Bitcoin. Because if it's as simple as just buying Bitcoin and then 210,000 blocks later, it's worth more in terms of fiat, that's just amazing. And so the true test will come in the year 2021. Okay, that's when this in late 2021, 210,000 blocks after Bitcoin reached its all-time high in 2017 in terms of fiat. 210,000 blocks, that'll probably be in what, October or November of 2021. If Bitcoin is worth more than its all-time high, which was, what was it, 19,600, whatever you say it is. If it's worth more than that, 210,000 blocks afterwards, which is again in late 2021, then a lot of people are going to wake up to the situation, and all sorts of money will pour into Bitcoin at that point. Okay. I mean, there are people with hundreds of thousands of dollars who like to get returns on their investments, and whatever, that's their own prerogative. If they only want to own it for 4 years and they want an almost guarantee that their investment is going to be worth more in fiat, and they'll just sell it after 4. Good for them. I mean, whatever. If you look at this, it's not just about 210,000 blocks. How about 420,000 blocks? How about 630,000 blocks? 4 years, 8 years, 12 years. Just play it out. How valuable holding will be if this theory is further supported in late 2021. But again, obviously, you can tell I've been way supportive of this theory before I even knew about this theory. I mean, I've been talking about the 2020 halving since before around the 2016 halving. So again, I've had it in my mind that yes, 210,000 blocks. If you wait 210,000 blocks in terms of fiat, your investment will be worth more in Bitcoin. And something like, again, this so beats owning a house, okay, for 4 years. And I mean, there would be little reason to own rental properties in a highly regulated city like Baltimore or St. Louis. You know what I'm talking about, people. If you've ever dealt with rental properties, like I've lived around them. I've owned properties in these types of cities, in Baltimore, obviously. What a pain in the butt it can be, and what's the return that you get with Bitcoin? If this 210,000 block theory remains true, I mean, it will just. I don't know why anyone would want to own rental properties and deal with Section 8 and all that sickening stuff. I don't know why anyone wants to deal with Section 8 right now, to tell you the truth. But because they're greedy and they don't understand. They're greedy in a real bad way, in an ignorant way, because they don't understand that there is no peace of mind when you're dealing with Section 8ers, and when they rip your property apart and you can do nothing. And you're the villain. You're the villain in the government's eyes when the Section 8er rips your house apart. And again, I have never had a Section 8 person live in my house. I have lived among Section 8 people on Linden Avenue. You Google that and you check that. Anyway, though, we've gone on a rant about Section 8, but let's get back to you can see I'm from Baltimore, baby. Pound that like button. And then I've seen a lot of stuff. So yeah. So oh yeah, one thing about the 210,000 block theory that the dude did not mention, he did not mention crypto dividends and how Bcash alone covered so many people's initial investments in Bitcoin in terms of fiat. That was, he did not put that into his theory, but crypto dividends, these glorious airdrops and forks that we've been getting, because some were unfriendly, some were friendly, whatever, that also is an amazing benefit and increases the fiat value of your initial investment. And on a related note, when we're dealing with crypto dividends, some conservative Bitcoin holders out there, your strategy just might want to be, you develop a plan where when my crypto dividends cover X percent of my initial investment, that's when I sell all my crypto dividends. Or when they cover all of my initial investment in Bitcoin, which if you've been in Bitcoin long enough, the crypto dividends have covered your initial investment. I mean, if you bought if you bought, what's Bcash worth right now? Like $320 or something. If you bought Bitcoin before it was worth $320, yeah, Bcash alone has covered your initial fiat investment. That's a side note there. But I did, again, the 210,000 block theory, which I really love, and I think many more people should be talking about it, and probably many more people will be talking about it in late 2021 if we're at a new all-time high at that point. But it initially did not mention the crypto dividends, which also help cover your initial expenses, which is great. So I can't believe I didn't think about that yesterday, since I am the crypto dividend guy. All right. What's the final thing? All right. So enough about that. I think I covered everything that I wanted to say about the 200. Again, check out yesterday's show, and the link to the whole theory is linked to below. Of course, everything I talk about is linked to below. Remember to play this show and all my shows at 2x speed. They go a lot faster, and you become a more efficient person. You're in motion. I watch everyone's video at 2x or 1.75x speed. And yeah, you can understand it when it's playing fast. Here is a tweet from Bitcoin Progress. Oh yeah, Bitcoin Progress is a Twitter feed, actually, and you can keep track of the progress toward the next Bitcoin subsidy halving. So it's a great way. It's just a simple Twitter feed that gets updated every week or so. It's every so many blocks, and it shows you how close we are to the next Bitcoin halving in terms of blocks, what percentage of this 210,000 block period we've gone through. And we've gone through like 70% of it. I don't even know. I don't have the link in front of me, but you check it out. It's linked to below. Okay, so today in the FUD court, what do you guys think it was? What are they going to try to freak us out? What's the future FUD of America? Well, it's actually not about America. It's about China. Oh yeah, China says it wants to eliminate Bitcoin mining. Alistair Milne reminds us China banned Bitcoin 4 times in 2017. Some might see it as an extremely bullish indicator. I don't see it as anything but ludicrous FUD that Reuters, a mainstream media outlet, they just jump on these things all the time. Will it freak some weak hands out? Maybe. Will some speculators try to freak people out and start selling because of it once the word spreads a little bit more? Maybe. But in the long run, will China even do it? Who knows? Who cares? If you've been in this space for a while, you've heard this China FUD hundreds of times, it seems like. It's unbelievable. But yet, everything's cyclical in this space. It has come about again. It's like some horrific reoccurring disease that you get from being totally irresponsible and not wearing something when you should be. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Pound that like button and don't pound that something that will give you that horrible disease that reoccurs. All right. So, oh yeah. And speaking about FUD, some people remember, I'd say back in 2016, there would always be so often on This Week in Bitcoin, I would mention like FUD Fridays. It would seem like every Friday, some type of FUD news would come out. And all these weak hands would panic, and the Bitcoin price would, in terms of fiat, would go down. And again, I get a big smile on my face. It's great memories. And again, some of you weren't around the space then, but I I don't wish FUD Fridays upon us again. But if they happen, what the heck? Well, what the heck? But it would seem like every Friday there would be some story and there'd be a panic and the Bitcoin price would drop. And these are back in the days. It would go from 600 to 550 or 525. It'd be scary for people. Oh, how we have matured in 210,000 blocks. I love that 210,000 block theory. Pound that like button. Value your time in halvings. Long-term thinking, defer gratification. Be at least able to defer gratification for 210,000 blocks. All those normies out there that are going to create their normie coin, they don't have that ability. They just have the ability to be envy, which isn't much of an ability at all. A little teeny baby has that ability too. Okay, so here is something that's somewhat entertaining and somewhat of a waste of your time too. So don't spend too much time on this. But it's Crypto Meme Central. It's a Twitter feed, linked to below. Your trusted, unverified, sarcastic source of the most ridiculous and absurd use cases of blockchain and S coins. Trust, don't verify. Toxic Bitcoin meme department. Okay, so yeah, it's sarcastic, but hey, whatever. Sometimes you need a little bit of sarcasm. Don't get too into it, but it's always fun to get a little smile on your face. And everyone's got a little bit different type of personality. It's not for me necessarily, but hey, maybe it's for you. I bring up a lot of things on this show. Okay, everybody, pound that like button. Been a good one, everybody. Remember, subscribe to the channel, like this video, bang that bell button. New show every day. Spread the word on Twitter and all your social media. Follow on Tech at Twitter, TechBalt, TechBalt. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. I will say hi to you guys in the chat. Do as the shirt says.